A big thank you to our sponsor, iFixit, who fights for your right to repair and makes really cool tools in the process. If you need to fix your phone, laptop, or even a vacuum, iFixit has thousands of parts, tools, and free guides.
Mercury, Mercury Stardust. She's a beacon of hope in the darkest night. Mercury, Mercury Stardust. She'll teach you how to make it all alright.
Hey there, hi, my name is Mercury, and I'm the trans handyman. My pronouns are she, her, and I teach compassionate DIY. We're here to help renters, LGBTQIA members, and anyone who's feeling left out in the DIY space. Hey everybody, my name is Mercury Starbutt. I am the host of the Handyman Hotline. I'm not here this week. I am taking a break. But here's the thing. We do a patron-only podcast after show, pre-show, which is very confusing, but it's confusing for us too, every single week. So after the regular podcast is done, about another 45 minutes of the podcast is played, and it's typically me, Maggie, talking about the world, life, financial struggles, business struggles. Sometimes they're goofy stuff. Sometimes they're really serious stuff. But it's just me, Maggie talking, and Matthew too. So we're going to play some of the best stuff for that. So without further ado, please put your hands together for the Best of Handyman Hotline podcast. Ah, yeah! Explosions. Okay, bye-bye. Okay. After show special.
After show, before the show.
After the show, before the show, after the show. Okay,
Mercury Stardust time warp.
Oh my God, it's a Wayne's World. Did we just do a Wayne's World?
Yes.
Jesus, Maggie, you way to date us. What year is it? 1992?
Oh my God,
God
I love it.
damn. Wayne's World, party all the time.
Excellent.
Yeah. Hey, Wayne.
Do you remember before Wayne's World when it was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures?
Oh, do I remember the greatest movie of all time?
The best
Maggie.
Keanu Reeves movie in the world.
What? No, I think the greatest Keanu Reeves of all time is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 2.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Death.
Oh my
Death
God, it's been so long since I've seen those.
Did you see the third one?
No.
Did you not see the third one?
No.
Oh my God! Stop everything right now. We are stopping this recording right now.
Movie night.
Oh my God. That would be so funny if we stopped the recording and you and I watched the movie and we came back like,
Sorry, Nick, you got to do dinner and bedtime on your own.
don't you feel different now, Maggie?
Mama's got to do some work.
Oh, it's so... It was like, it came out during the height of the pandemic. It came out like June
Was it?
or July
was it
of
the same
2020. Yes, it was Keanu.
How did I miss this?
Yes, it was amazing.
Oh my God.
It was. I wouldn't say.
I cannot
I
believe.
wouldn't say this was like a great movie by any means, but neither were the originals. And it was also like a heavy dose of nostalgia.
Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Yeah, you have you not heard of it?
Oh my God, no.
It's so good. It's so good.
Oh.
I love it. I love it. The thing I love about that movie specifically is because it came out during the
Oh,
pandemic.
Margot Robbie?
It came out. Okay, Maggie. It came out
I'm listening. During the panini.
during the panini, and it was like during the moment where we didn't have any more content, and that dropped. And I remember being like, "This is the greatest moment of my life." Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I said that the other day, right? I said, "Who let the dogs out?" You know. And Basil was with me. And Basil, I've taught Basil that if you want to hang out with me and have a good time, you got to sing along with me. You got to always do the next part. So I said, "Who let the dogs out?" And I looked at Basil and they said, Who? And I looked at them and I said, "Wait a minute. What?" And they're like
owls.
And they're like, Who? And I said, "Wait a minute. Do you not know? Do you not know the lyrics to Who Let the Dogs Out?" And they're like, "Are the lyrics not who?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" They're woof. Their lyrics are woof.
Barking dogs.
And they're like, "They are? Where the fuck have you been?" It was.
They're too young for that song.
Are they?
Yeah.
How old were you when that song came out?
I don't know. A teenager?
I was like maybe in 6th, 7th grade. Matt, how old? What were you?
Yeah, that track.
Yeah,
from,
I
like,
think about 6, 7. I feel like it was around the same time as like the Sir Mix-a-Lot era.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was in high school because I'm what 6 years older
I
than you.
think it came out before the thong song,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look this up. What year did that song?
I'll look up the thong song. You look up.
Who let the dogs out? Holy shit.
1999 was the thong song.
2000 was the Who Let the Dogs Out.
Oh, what?
Oh, so
Well,
I
yeah,
was
it was close because I graduated in 99.
so 12. I was 12 and 13 when the
And
songs
I
came
was
out.
17 and 18.
Wow, you were 17 and 18 when I was 13. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, I guess 18, 19.
So you were
if
in
you
the
were 12, 13.
you were in like your young, about to be in adulthood when two of the best songs ever came out.
I was in what Nick would call my true love phase.
Yeah.
With my really thin eyebrows and my low
That's fucking hilarious.
hip rider jeans and
Oh.
my crop shirt.
Have you ever read the lyrics?
Did I wear Jinkos? No, I had the bell bottoms.
Have you ever read the lyrics?
The
of
Baha Men have 11 studio albums. The most recent one was from 2015.
What?
No, are you serious?
I'm serious.
I couldn't name a single song from them other than that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my god, it'd be funny if their songs were "Who Let the Dogs Out," and then the next one is like "Who Let the Cows Out," you know? And then "Who Let the Dogs Out Again?" You know?
Remix.
Yeah, remix. Are you fucking kidding me? That is the best line in any song ever. Matt, you can totally kill
Lyrics
it.
fill in the gap.
That is the best fucking line in any song I've ever heard. Lyrics, they fill in the
Insert
gap.
connecting lyric here, right later.
Because also, did you hear the story about this? Did you hear the story about how this song came to be? He wrote this on set. So he
Nice.
was booked for like millions of dollars for
Yeah.
this. Like he was supposed to be like paid like $2 million. He didn't have the song done. So he was in his trailer writing this. And I just picture Vanilla Ice like just barely awake. Being like, oh no, how am I gonna connect this verse? Oh, I got it. A lyric, fill in the gap. You know what I mean? Like it's like the most. I just love
I
it.
bet he put that in there as like just a stopgap to come back to and fill in the gap, and then he forgot and he just left it.
Well, his contract stated the song had to be a certain amount of time too.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that the verse go ninja, go ninja, go ninja, go is literally like 40 seconds.
just fill in the time.
It's so funny to me.
I love this flashback though, because like I literally could see the scene in my head of them dancing in that warehouse.
It's so funny.
I loved the Ninja Turtles so much.
Did you really?
Yes.
So
No.
I'm a paranoid mom. I get up and Nitro's fine. He's licking his butt in the hallway. He's good. And then Apollo goes into the other room, the spare room, and he stretches out and he looks at me and he meows and he wants me to give him a rub down. So I gave him a rub down for like 4 to 5 minutes. Hard rub down. Just getting real
Aw.
deep in there. Good kitty massage. And then when I was done, he bit me.
Fucker.
And then I went back to bed. And then he left me the fuck alone.
Oh my god. Those
I
fucking cats.
I have no idea what to do with him sometimes. Apollo is the biggest diva I've
Yeah.
ever lived with my entire life.
I sent you that video of Bit, right, where she was being so cute and I was like petting her and I was like, oh my god, you love me so much. And then she bit me. I was like, fuck her.
I walked in and the first thought I had was, Maggie has a puppy in the brand new office. There's no way this is going to end well. Fucking 10, 20 minutes later, that dog is pissing right on Maggie's fucking
In
floor.
his defense, he's tiny and it was a tiny piss.
Yeah.
He cleaned it
Tiny
right up.
piss. But he also, like, he has, like, velvet fur. He's
Yeah.
so fucking cute.
And
He's so cute.
sweet.
How much do we got time for that, Matthew?
What's that?
How long have you been
I think we're
recording?
about 30.
Yeah, about 33 minutes.
Wow, 33 minutes. Very gay of you, Matthew.
Was that?
Is that a gay number?
Yeah, 30. Wait.
That's
what?
the Jesus number.
No, 33 is a gay. Wait, do you
When I turned
two
34, I was like, fuck you, Jesus.
do you two not know that what 33 means?
Is it like 69?
No, it means butt stuff.
Is it because
Yeah,
it's,
like
it's
60
two butts
like-
together?
No, Maggie, you know. It's two people standing upright or like laying down on their sides. And the top part of the three is their heads. And
Yeah,
you know,
That's like
the
6.
peen and then the feet.
Oh.
That's like
yeah, it's not two butts, Matthew.
Well, I was seeing
I
seeing
mean,
it
no,
like
it's
like a
two-
top-down
two
view.
people. Like the
Yes.
bottom half of the 3 is the butts, and the top half of the that's like 69.
Yeah. No, it's not. Wait, what do you mean it's like 69?
Well, the reason why 69 means
Oh!
what it means is because
I get what you're saying. I thought you
The
meant
heads,
like the act of it was like 69. I'm
like the way that
how?
69 looks like two people, in those positions is the same as.
You know, I feel like we're just high schoolers. Someone just took a calculator and put in 80085
Boobless.
and put boobs.
Dolly
and we're
Parton
like,
had boobs weighed. What was it? What was? I just saw this on TikTok.
Wait, what are you talking
The calculator thing. Dolly Parton's boobs weighed something pounds. And
I've
that was
never
too much.
about?
What? You don't know this?
What are you talking
So
about?
she went to the doctor. She had surgery. And okay, all right, hold on.
No, what, Maggie? I have never heard of this.
Okay, hold on.
I
I'm pulling
remember-
it up. All right.
I do remember all the conversations about how big her boobs were. when I
Dolly
was a
Parton's
kid.
boobs were boobs weighed 69 pounds. That was too much. She went to 51st Street, saw Dr. X, who gave her 8 pills, or I don't know, something. This one's different than her. 8 pills for her pain, which left her boobless. Because you do the math on the calculator.
It's
Hold
an
on.
equation? It's an equation?
Yeah. Boobless.
It worked.
The phone does say boobless.
And the phone
Yeah.
does say boobless.
Kinda. It doesn't look as good as like a digital calculator.
Or boobles.
The boobles. It looks like
Boobless.
boobles.
It's not gonna mess with like the internals.
Oh
of the
no,
mic, is
I'm
it?
absolutely sure it's messing with the noise of the microphone. It's called a pop, a stud pop, and this little doohickey right here, Matt. It stops and it gets hard. It gets yeah.
It gets hard.
It gets this little doohickey in the middle of this get hard,
Oh yeah.
and then you found a stud.
So you just gotta finger it a little.
Yeah, I mean, I was making a dick joke, but you were making a clit joke. That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. But so basically this gets soft when it didn't find a stud, and when it finds a stud it gets hard.
Oh yeah, mine does that too.
I'm done. I'm done. My
Instead of
nighttime,
your daytime.
my
audience.
nighttime audience is wild. My nighttime audience is like
yeah.
they're way different.
Yeah, I think
My
maybe you're
nighttime-
just not in front of the right
You
audience.
know how
right now.
many people are gonna make horny comments in my nighttime audience? Yeah, Maggie will. Maggie's one of my Maggie's definitely
Listen to last week's Patreon.
Maggie's 110% my horny nighttime audience. You know what? You're my demographic. Horny mom demographic. That actually should be one of the demographics on TikTok. Is woman,
Horny
man, horny moms. Okay, Maggie. A lot of my friends,
Sorry.
a lot of my friends, Maggie,
Are spicy.
are.
I mean, it's gorgeous. I'm not complaining.
I mean, Maggie. Yeah, no. Okay. Here's the thing.
I
Okay,
just
let's back
wanted
up.
to
Let's
see
back
the
up.
numbers
Let's back up,
on
Maggie. Let's back
Instagram.
up. Let's back up. Okay. My Instagram is controlled by my entire staff and me, but I still use my Instagram for personal stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing: my Instagram is a holdover of my burlesque days. So most of my people that I follow, I would say I only follow 100 people. I would say 95% are spicy people. So when you open up my Instagram, there will be full frontal butt, right? I mean,
It was very nice, but
I would say here's what my
to be fair.
Instagram is. My Instagram is butts, trans women being sassy towards trolls, and cats. That's what my Instagram is.
Yep.
Right?
One of those three every time you open
Almost
the
every time. But I will say primarily boobs and butts.
Yeah.
Boobs and butts. And lots.
I just think it's funny when I open Instagram
Oh, wait.
to work.
Hold on.
Faced with boobs and butts.
Oh, hold on, though. This is even funnier. Is boob butts or Tori Phantom? Am I wrong? Tori,
It's true.
Tori Phantom pops up on
All
my
the
news
time.
feed probably every other time I go on to.
It's because you talk with them so much.
Yeah,
The
we-
algorithm knows.
But also, I interact with everything Tori on Instagram. I
Yeah.
fucking love Tori, but I only there's only like 5 people I really interact with on Instagram, and one of them is Tori. So like Tori's stuff pulls up every time, and it'll be funny. Like it'll first pull up, and then you just like look a little bit, and then boobs right there. Like it's almost always.
Gentle parenting. Boobs.
Yeah, you know the desire I have, in all honesty, is just to like if I had the ability to talk to somebody and then had them feel my empathy.
Yeah.
You know what? I would love that. I would love to be able to like to you know what bestow empathy on people. That would be the fucking best power. Do you know what I mean? Like people always
I'm
ask.
all like, I want to watch your head explode. And Mercury was like, here's some empathy.
But you know what, Maggie? I need my allies that want to explode heads sometimes. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you know, I think for me though, I would love of all the powers in the
Yeah.
world. There's always that like X-Men question, right? Like if you had a superpower, which one would it be, right? And I used to always think Mystique. Because having the ability to shapeshift, I mean, as a trans person, is like, that'd be fucking rad. That'd be so rad to be able to shapeshift. But I think in reality, I would probably pick a character that could like genuinely bestow empathy on others, you know, or be able to connect thoughts for others. Like, if you were getting in a fight with your dad or some shit, I could connect your thoughts and make you see each other's memories and express and out the power that would be if you could literally see and experience someone else's
Show
life.
people the other perspective.
Yeah, and also like, you know, I think that can connect bridges in a lot of ways because we're so much in our space and in our world and what we experience. It's hard to it's hard to understand that there's like 7 billion people on this planet and no 2 people have ever been brought up the exact same. And there's just no way that could, you know what I mean? Like the variables of that, it's just wild.
Well, and I think you are taking a certain approach with this whole business that is different than a lot of other creators, like because the most important thing to you is, you know, community and surrounding yourself with people that you love. And so, you know, I don't know everybody's like background story, but I know that not every creator has like a business partner and 3 employees. You know?
Yeah, this is true. We have...
And like a studio downtown.
Yeah, we've taken a much more of a approach of like building a foundation around us. And I think that like, I've said this like almost every episode, but I think the biggest advice I have to people is that build yourself up where it's kind of impossible for you to fail in a lot of ways. Like, my audience isn't going anywhere. I think the audience is going to be with us. They want to keep learning with us. But I could go somewhere. I could get burnt out. I am not a renewable resource. There's only a finite about a time and energy that I have in any given day. And if I can find ways to outsource other things that get done, then we can expand and grow, and we have a foundation of support around me instead of massive burnout. I feel like I'm coming into my own more, like finally, after all these months, after the last 2 years, I feel like now we know it is Mercury's neighborhood. That's the mentality we are trying to cultivate on all the media. And I enjoy that. I love making it whimsical and mythical and nurturing knowledge while also talking about life too. Like I like doing the troll responses a lot because like we get to dive into some really hot button issues for trans people in ways that like you couldn't have otherwise. Like most people aren't going to sit around and watch you talk about dysphoria.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if we could talk about dysphoria and make it an analogy about a DIY video,
Right.
then you're essentially tackling two problems and solving it with one video. You know? And I love that. I love
Well,
that.
and you did that naturally with the YouTube videos when we were filming that day. You know, you just kind of like wove in like stories of life and, you know, little like tidbits of, yeah. I mean, I honestly, I wish I could remember what you said.
Yeah,
but there's so many.
I do that.
We did like 4 videos in one day, but
I do that a lot. I like do these like I talk in analogies and I talk in I don't know. I talk in like whimsical phrases often.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll just pull it out and it sounds like I have said that a bazillion times. It's kind of why you're worth the time it takes to learn a new skill. That's exactly the kind of mentality because I say that kind of shit all the time, but I don't record it. So that day I was filming it, it wasn't like I've said this before. I didn't even hear that before. It was just it just made sense to me in that moment to say that.
And then here we are.
And now it's a fundamental part of how we perceive everything is you're worth the time it takes to learn a new skill. And we constantly joke about it being like, you know, we're always circling back to that idea. But I think it's become a cornerstone of our ideology at Mercury Stardust Media is like, you're worth the time it does take. And I also think another phrase I say a lot right now is be kind because you can't rewind.
Yeah.
I love that phrase. And I went right into that because I didn't know what to title a video. And then it just made sense. That like, you know, be kind because you just can't rewind. And I love that because this is, you know, if you're fucking around from the 90s in a Blockbuster, you know what that phrase comes from.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a twist on it because you don't have the privileges to
unsay that.
Yeah, you really don't.
Yeah.
And it's in our best interest to be kind to each other in spite of shit sometimes. Now, I always like to put a caveat on that. Like when we're talking about those issues, especially when we're talking about marginalization, like don't the lack of better terms, don't tone police people. You know what I mean? Like allow people to express things in those moments too and look past the anger if you can. You'll learn a lot if you can look past people's anger and see what they're actually talking about. Because there's nuggets of truth in every sentence, you know? Even if everything they're saying is bullshit. The truth is that they're hurt and they need someone to listen to them.
Yeah. Don't mind me. You can keep talking.
Because that works out so well.
Yeah. The thing is, if I let you, it's so funny because if I let you talk and you don't get distracted, you are fine. It's only when I ask you to. If I ask you, if I ask you to talk more, if I tell you by stretching out my hands, you instantly stop talking every single time. But if I say nothing, you're fine. You just keep going naturally like a person would. But if I ask you to vamp, Maggie goes into shock.
I do.
And we'll never do it. It's fucking hilarious. Maggie will just stop and stare at me every time.
I mean, it's like, you know, that question, you know, that you get of like, oh, what are you thinking now? And then suddenly your mind goes completely blank and you're like, literally nothing. There's nothing there.
I'm sorry. You just said, what are you thinking now? And I stopped and I started thinking. I was like, oh no. Oh no. Blank space. Blank space.
See, that's what happens in my brain.
But also, I think I'm so used to vamping for the live burlesque show back in the day and vamping for all
you're
that.
so good at it.
Of just like filling dead air with my noises. I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I think I'm really good at finding things in moments. I've also done it so much though, Maggie, that like it's kind of second nature. Like when we would do it for 5-star, what I would instantly do is like vibe with the audience. I'm trying to figure out what they're thinking in that moment. And often what it would be like, you know, like what they're thinking about the show that time, or if it's hot in a room, or if it's really dark, or if the lights are really bright. If I can find a way to call attention to what they're all thinking
Mm.
and find the commonality between everybody, that almost always does well. Like if like one of my favorite examples, I think, is something, a really stupid technique is when you start asking the audience where they're from, and when someone says a suburb or a smaller town outside of the town that you're in, it's so easy to instantly take a pot shot at it. And one of my favorite things I would do is if someone would say to me, "Oh, I'm from insert small town outside of Madison," and then I would say, "Oh, this is a really big night for you. Look, electricity." It would always get a fucking laugh every fucking time. It could be any single place, anywhere. If people said Dodgeville, instant laugh. Janesville, instant laugh. La Crosse, instant laugh. It never ceases to amaze me how dumb of a joke that is, but how much it would always get a laugh. No, I love that one. Yeah. Look, electricity is a big thing. What do you think working with me is like working with an alien learning how to like use their human body? Do you think that's what it's like working with me?
I mean, honestly, I feel like an alien who's still learning how to use this human body. So yes, but also like probably that's why we get along so well.
We're all aliens here.
Right?
I sometimes see people post stuff, Maggie, where they're like, plumbers are so expensive, electrical is so expensive. And they're talking about like a $300 bill to like remove a toilet and take a toy out or something. And I'm like, it's really not that expensive. And
the problem is that people in general just don't get paid enough.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
It's expensive to them because they're not getting a living wage.
And I also like I hear people like when it talks about economic stuff, I hear it, but at the same time, like they're like, okay, well, it was like $50 or $60 for them to even come here. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, because
it's a lot of time out of the day just to drive across town.
Because it's not like when you walk into a job and you have all the things you're doing at your job in a store or something, right? Yeah. If you go to a job site and you end up not doing the job, you lost money not doing the job. And you don't want a plumber whose only way they make money is to do the job. You don't want that plumber. Listen to me. You don't want a plumber that their only way they're going to get a job is if you hire them. Right? Because if you do that, you know what's going to happen is that they're going to lobby very hard to do something you don't actually need to do or want to do. You want the plumber who's going to charge you $50 or $100 to show up. You do. Those are the plumbers you want. Yeah, because
they're not going to nickel and dime you for everything else just to make a buck.
Some will be. Some will still do it. Yeah. But like far less plumbers. You might have a friend who can help you, but you know, I don't know. It's a shitty system. The system is a problem, not the person saying that they know their worth. One of the reasons why I'm reluctant to share anything online about being a renter is because then people will give me advice. And then my knee-jerk reaction is to be like, do you know who I am?
Apparently they do not.
And then I have to like calm my tits because like I get so like, okay, my whole channel, my whole persona is renters' rights. My entire persona. Like half of this podcast.
Your entire book is about renters. Yes. And you had to fight for that.
So someone wrote today to me about my rent being increased by $250. Someone wrote this today. I'm not sure where you are, but you should look into tenant laws.
I'm not sure who you are, but you should look at my butt.
Yeah. Because in a lot of instances, that's highly illegal.
It's funny because you have answered that question on that thread already multiple times. Yeah. People being like, oh, we have a rent cap where I am.
But I will also say, though, that TikTok has done us dirty because TikTok removed the pinned comment.
Yeah.
And the only way
they did it on purpose because people were using it as a way to like
Pin
shame.
of shame.
Well, I mean, I was guilty of that. I was guilty of the pin of shame quite
Here,
often.
everybody, dogpile on this person.
Oh yeah, if someone said something, because also you couldn't delete your comment if it
Yeah.
was pinned.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's why it became the pin of
If
shame.
your comment was pinned, you could not delete
You're
it.
fucked.
Yeah. I do think that is something to be mindful of, is how we speak to each other. You know, I also think that like call outs that are really pointed at people don't do the thing that we often intended to do.
Right.
You know, it often puts people on the defensive rather than like let them be open to the criticism, you know. But again, some of that is unprocessed trauma, you know. So, you know, it all depends. The internet's a wild place, Maggie.
It really is. It really is. Well, and I think sometimes, like, I'll look at comments and I'll see, you know, the call out that happens in the comments, and they tend to happen from, you know, they often happen
Yeah.
from accounts that, you know, have like no profile picture, no videos, and like, not to say that you have to make videos to be taken seriously, but there's something to be said about like people who, like yourself, who put yourself out there, who put yourself on the internet, who put yourself like in front of other people, that in a space where you are welcoming basically criticism, right? And to be, I just don't think that a lot of people understand, and I probably didn't understand this as much, you know, before working with you, but understand how hard that is.
Yeah.
Right? And like, I have often had to remind myself, you know, that it's really easy for me behind a basically a anonymous screen to be able to say whatever I want to say.
Yeah.
It's completely different when you have to put yourself out there. So not only like should you be called in instead of out, but also like I think there needs to be some kind of understanding of the fact that you are putting yourself out there in a way that a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And there needs to be some like compassion and integrity around that for the people who don't.
Yeah.
Who, you know, become comment warriors.
I think it would be way different if my content wasn't what it is.
Yeah.
If my content was just like rage farming,
Right.
or my content was like very much not compassionate, I think it would be a very different conversation. Or if I was just doing makeup tutorials and they're just like Jeffree Star style makeup tutorials, you know what I mean? If they were like that, then I think it opens you up to be criticized in any single way
Right.
that is deserving, right? But I do think being a trans woman in a field that is predominantly not, I think that like there's a context here that is really important. And if you're getting criticized for just existing all the time, when you're being held accountable, sometimes it's hard to know if that being held accountable is a hint of transphobia sometimes. Right. And it's, I'm not saying everything is transphobia, but it's very hard when you're on the internet and you are getting criticized for just existing as a person that you are, to also sometimes take criticism that is valid. And knowing the difference is really difficult. But being called in is always an easier way for me to know the difference.
This is what fuels me. Maggie knows this about me. Matthew knows this about me.
Yeah.
All of my team member knows this about me. There's nothing that drives me more like mediocre fucking men telling me I don't know what I'm doing, and then me getting to prove them wrong.
Yep.
This is exactly why we started the platform.
Fuck you. We raised the money anyway. Got all the things that we needed, and we're good.
And I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be disparaging, but I just get so mad about this.
Yeah.
Like, just imagine 3 men looking back at you through a camera. Well, it was 2 of them at the time.
Yeah.
But 2 men looking back at you through the camera and telling you that what you spent the last year and a half doing by yourself, having no money, no resources, and just telling you you're failing. And that hurt. That hurt so much. I was like so heartbroken. And then I spent like 5 or 7 hours on a live hanging out with my audience. And that's
where the podcast was born.
Yep, that's where the podcast was born. You're right. That is where the podcast was born.
Yeah, I
forgot.
just connected those dots. You are allowed to focus on something that is important to you and matters to you. If we tried to care about and like boycott and only buy ethically, like from every, if we did that in every single aspect of our lives, we would have to be like off grid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it's like impossible and you shouldn't try. I'm just saying I agree with you in the fact that we should focus on one thing, right? Focus on something that is important to you. And again, you're going to get a lot farther along if you focus on the thing that you care about the most, right? Because otherwise, if we all tried to care about every single thing 100% of the time, we would go fucking mad.
Yeah, again, I love you, Maggie. I just like agree with you so hardcore in this. Like, I feel also because like you know me in real life.
Yeah.
You know how outraged I am by basically everything.
Exactly.
Like if people want to characterize me as this happy-go-lucky lady because I'm always happy in my TikToks, it's an active choice though. That's an active choice for me to be that person on TikTok because of education purposes and because like trans joy is really important.
Yeah.
And you don't see it. But the reality is I'm kind of a stereotype. I'm an angry trans woman and I fucking hate the world most of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm downtrodden. Like I don't feel good most days. Why is it that Christian people, right? Or people in religious I mean, it's not just Christians. But let's make it very clear.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of different religions who have like a very hard time for non-binary people specifically. And I don't understand. I mean, I get mad as a trans woman. I get mad as well. But I get especially mad about the non-binary like rejection so hard. And I think the reason why it boggles my mind is because like if a trans woman passes enough, if a trans woman or a trans man passes enough, there's typically not an issue. Right? But non-binary people hold that space where they're often like there's no such thing as passing for non-binary people, right? So there's very much this space of like, well, you just don't want them to fucking exist. You don't, you know what I mean? Like, well, there's no answer to that. There's no answer to that. It's so wild. They don't want trans people to exist in general, but like specifically, it really gets me with non-binary people because you're openly saying without saying. There's no nice way of saying it. You could say, you know, you could be holding a teacup and wearing your best Easter Sunday outfit and be saying, well, I don't really think kids should be watching a show with a non-binary person in it. There's no way to say that and make it not like very bigoted.
Yeah.
There's no way to say that. You can sit there and say like, well, you know, I think it's really inappropriate that the trans woman, you know, dresses this way or does this thing. Okay. You could hide the bigotry somehow. How do you hide the bigotry with a non-binary person? Like there's no, everyone's just okay with them openly saying, you know, that like, I fucking hate non-binary people and there's no way around it. It's just a wild thing to me that blows my mind that like not enough people talk about. Wow, this got fucking heavy. Jesus fucking Christ. Matt, we're done. Matt.
Cut it off.
Do you have anything positive, uplifting, and fun to add, buddy? Anything you want to add?
Oh, you know me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I really thought, for some reason, the guy I've known for 17 years, I thought he was going to give us something positive, and he is a curmudgeon. He's a curmudgeon. He's like,
he says, well, you know me. I ain't got nothing.
He's an embodiment of a rainy cloud just walking around. And I was like, hey, buddy, do you want to give us something happy? I'm going to hang up now. This is the Midwest goodbye.
No, you hang up.
No, you hang up.
Standing by the car talking.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. The keys are jiggling.
Oh
okay, fuck you. Bye.
Do you want a bag?
Okay, hold on. Wait. Wait. What kind of bag you got?
I thought you might want a bag to help carry stuff.
Yeah, you got a plastic bag?
Yeah,
just
it's
like
a
my
Piggly Wiggly. It's a used Piggly Wiggly.
Oh, Piggly
bag.
Wiggly bag? Oh, that's good. Yeah, no, I'll go for the Piggly
Only a
Wiggly
few
bag.
holes.
Hey, I got a Metcalf bag that has like less holes and it's like that thick plastic. Do you want to go for the Metcalf?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with the Metcalf. All right. Okay. Bye. Jesus Christ.
Now, before you go.
Yeah. What's up? What's up?
Oh, never mind. I figured it out.
Oh, okay. Good.
Came
Thanks.
right back into
All right, everybody. Take care. Bye bye.
I'm going to leave you with this nugget of knowledge that I used to always tell my burlesque students in my burlesque 101 class. I often, when we were having these discussions about like numbers, often performers who are never performing before and haven't done burlesque before will bring the whole kitchen sink to it.
Mm.
They want to have a whole set designed, and crazy elaborate costumes and, backup dancers and stuff. And then I would tell them to peel all that away and just focus on the individualism that you are, the actual unique person that you are.
Yeah.
And then I would tell them, remember this. The moment that you walk on stage is the moment that you are representing a path for someone else.
Mm.
And the moment you understand that you are enough, someone else in the audience is also acknowledging that they are enough.
Yeah.
And that's all our goal, is just to realize we are enough. All that social conditioning,
Yeah.
all of those pressures apply to us, all of those hard conversations, and there's hard realizations. At the very end of the day, where we're at right now in this very specific moment is enough. And that's okay. We don't need to be anything other than what we are right now. And tomorrow will be a little bit different than we are today. And that's also okay. Just existing is okay. And we don't have to meet any standards that we are told or feel like we have to do. Because we are exactly who we need to be in this moment. And that's okay. Now I'm going to go pee before we do the
That's
podcast.
So sweet.
The theme song was created by Rhodey Walker. Questions were picked up by our production assistant, Ziggy. A big thank you to our executive producer, Basil. And this podcast was recorded and edited by Matthew Allen Haig. Thank you for listening. See you next time. If you enjoyed this episode of the Handyman Hotline, you can listen to an even longer version by supporting us on Patreon. If you support us on Patreon, $10 or more, you'll be able to get an extra long 30 to 45-minute section every single week. Isn't that amazing? More of me and Maggie. Wow! So thank you so much for all those who already support us, and you too can support us and listen to more on our Patreon. Thank you. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this episode, please help us keep the pirate ship alive by supporting our sponsors, the wonderful iFixit. They fight for your right to repair and makes really cool tools in the process. If you need to fix your phone, laptop, or even a vacuum, iFixit has thousands of parts, tools, and free guides to make your life a little bit easier.
So grab your hammer and nails and paint your nails if you want to. You're worth the time it takes to be you. She'll teach you how to fix your house, how to fix it by yourself. The trans handyman, Mercury Stardust.
Matt, make sure you cut that dead air right out of this, even in the after show, pre-show, show.
That's going in the best of.
Yeah. You fucking dick.